All right, stop scrolling, push back the noise, and let's do what our hearts long for, even if we don't feel it, which I'll be honest, I wasn't feeling it today, but this is time alone with God, which foundationally we were created to have a relationship with God. John 17:3, where Jesus says, well, he defines what eternal life is. A lot of us think it's living a really long time, and that's part of it. But the main thing he says is to know him and the only true God. And that's our purpose. That's why we exist. But it's really hard to do in this day and age, especially with all the technology. So the purpose of this time is real simple. Just 3 minutes. It's a starting point. It's a baseline just to fight for that connection. Defend it and hear the still small voice of God, which our heart longs for. Yes, it's great to hear from teachers. And hopefully it's kind of good to hear from me. I'll share at the end of the time. But that's not the priority. We have to hear directly from God. And that's how we were designed. So pause the video. First minute, I'll walk you through the framework, and then I'll share my time, which I was pretty fuzzy today, feeling overwhelmed, lots of to-dos, and then I felt like God gave me a word through my son, who's in high school. He's a sophomore in high school, in his quiet time, which is a word to us about the value of passing this on when it's appropriate. Sometimes it's just for you and God. All right, I'm going to stop here. First minute, pause the video. And all you're doing is just sharing your heart with God. It could be a question, could be a feeling, could be a thought, could be it's something you're thankful for, confessing of sin, wiping the slate clean because Jesus promised in 1 John 1:9 to do that. So pause the video, first minute, do that now. Second minute, this is where we dial it down and just rest in the Lord. If you need to close your eyes, sit down, go on a walk, whatever it is you need to do to just rest and be quiet with God and receive his love because of your faith and trust in Jesus. Do that now and listen for his voice too, if there's a word he has, especially from the Bible. All right, third minute. This is where we read or listen, crack or click open the Bible, whatever you need to do to get into the Bible, whether it was from the previous time or a plan that you have. Do that now. Okay, so my son shared about 2 Corinthians, basically saying the church had grown. The church had worked through some problems. Now he said it's time to go and give back. That's what we're called to do, and that's why sharing what God gives us is so important. So I'll leave you a second. Philippians 2:3-4. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourself. See you tomorrow.